Hey Gameologironis, it is your editor John Teti, and it's time for another edition of our Chat and Chew review show, The Digest. Our guest this time is Drew Toal, Gameological contributor. Our treat today is candy cigarettes. The theme this week is nostalgic candy, and it doesn't get any more nostalgic than this. I don't know. I was surprised that they even sell these anymore.
I had no idea. I mean, I thought we had done away with these when we
Although all it does is teach kids to eat cigarettes, so it's really just training them to
and they're so terrible. I feel like maybe they should be around because they're so terrible.
That's right.
Real cigarettes can't be good.
So today, friends, we are playing a little game called Tweet That Treat. And here's how it goes. My guest, Drew Toal, is going to compose an extemporaneous spoken word review of today's treat, candy cigarettes. And the object is for him to speak a review that will amount to 140 characters or less. You can't go over, Drew. You're trying to get as close to 140 characters as you can. All spelling and punctuation will be set according to Gameological style, and all rulings are final. Drew, are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, everything you say from here on out will be part of your tweet. Drew Toal, tweet that treat.
Both King's candy cigarettes and real cigarettes will both probably give you cancer. But if you're going to go out, it's better to go out with the smooth flavor of Camel Lights. Tweet that.
Okay, Drew, through the magic of television, we have just tabulated that last tweet. 176 characters. Drew, you have gone over. You have failed to tweet that treat.
God damn it.
All right, well, Drew's going to lick his wounds, and we are going to talk now about The Last of Us for your PlayStation. Let's do it.
The Last of Us doesn't exactly break new ground. It's a shooter with zombies and a whole bunch of cutscenes. But thanks to a heartfelt, nuanced script and an alluring post-apocalyptic vision that features colors other than brown, this game brings new life to a familiar format. You play as Joel, a survivor of the zombie plague who accompanies 14-year-old Ellie on a desperate journey of hope into the American West. Their relationship is the thread that binds the adventure together, but the supporting characters who drift in and out of view are just as artfully drawn. With a new generation of consoles on the way, The Last of Us may be the work that defines the twilight of this era in video games.
I started out not liking Ellie very much. She's mouthy, she doesn't listen very well, she misbehaves a lot. But then I grew to like her, and I realized that they do take you on an arc with her where I feel it's how I would really react to having a 14-year-old girl in my company.
Well, it just seems, I mean, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Having a teenage daughter seems like literally the worst thing I can think of. But yeah, she proves later on, to be a little more than just a smartass. She helps you out, and she's got some spunk.
Well, she does help you out, and there's a pivotal moment in in the first 8 hours of the game, which seems silly to say that, but there's a pivotal moment where Ellie saves your life essentially, and you play this rugged, gruff guy, Joel. Joel's seen some shit.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the happiest guy. But he grudgingly semi-thanks her for that. And that's when the ice starts to break, both for Joel and for me. Because I love how Ellie asserts herself. It feels very real.
It's a very father-daughter relationship, and that, kind of comes into the story. But it seems like, much more believable than, say, Elizabeth from BioShock.
Right. Well, BioShock is a more of a like spectacular and rough and tumble adventure, right? So I think that Elizabeth is a little more broadly drawn, and she fits a little better into the flash and spectacle of that. Whereas I think Ellie fits in really well with this. This is a slow game, and this is often a very quiet game, and I think that the characters mirror that environment really well. Toward the end of the summer portion of the game, which is the first portion of the game, it all clicked. It just crystallized. And it made sense to me insofar as, yes, we've been doing this somewhat dull slog, but I have been doing it with Ellie. We've been doing it together, and that built up a bond without me realizing it. So I don't know if there's any way around the slow start in this particular game.
Well, it wasn't like a tutorial, it wasn't like an extended, this is how this game works, which is the worst, right? And then, but it was more just I guess just kind of getting familiar with the situation.
You pick up supplements and you pick up potted plants, and both of these things can be used to like upgrade yourself, make your aim steadier, make you stronger and whatnot. That, to me, doesn't jibe with the rest of the game.
I agree. Sticking some scissors on the end of a pipe and then sticking it through somebody's brain makes sense in the context of the game. But yes, swapping some pills off a counter and then improving yourself through performance-enhancing drugs doesn't make a ton of sense.
No.
I mean, you can play a lot of the game without them too, you know, like you don't actually have to use them.
You don't really need,
But kind of, because the game definitely pulls you in, you know. It seems like all the characters are very believable, you know, despite the weird plant fungus zombie thing. Like, people's reactions and interactions all seem like things you would do with, you know, the way you would talk to your friends in that situation. And
it's very naturalistic. I don't know if you noticed this, but the faces, there's been a lot of talk about faces the past couple of years in video games, like L.A. Noire's faces.
Skyrim's faces.
Skyrim's faces. It's all supposed to blow you away. I think this is the first time I've played a video game where I was so convinced by the faces that I didn't even think about, like, wow, how about that technology? Like, when I played L.A. Noire, I was like, wow, those look pretty real. Mm-hmm. But this, I was just seeing a person. It was like I was almost out of the uncanny valley here.
Yeah, no, for the entire time, because they were so realistic, I was like, oh, this is Gerard Butler and Ellen Page going across the country in some kind of weird buddy comedy. So there's lots of barbed wire, there's lots of impassable, you know, like lots of rubble and things you can't, you know, abandoned cars, you can't get around buses and stuff.
Every stairwell has file cabinets blocking the top floor.
Right, very neatly, very, you know.
They're so compacted you couldn't possibly get by.
Yeah, the rest of the house might be in complete order, but you cannot go upstairs. Somehow the entire stairwell collapsed on itself, even though the entire house is intact.
Right.
Makes no sense. But you do a lot of blocking doorways in this game, you know, and moving stuff in front of doors and away from doors.
Just in time.
There's secret passages for people to sneak out, you know, but they're all covered by file cabinets, apparently.
Or dumpsters. Oh, that's right. That's another thing you have to hunt around for, dumpsters. But I noticed not every dumpster will do. It seems that our hero only prefers dumpster brand dumpsters for his stepping on needs. If there's like a blue dumpster, you definitely can't touch that one, obviously.
No, I mean, this game is actually surprisingly focused on garbage and trash. I hadn't really thought of that before, but yeah, you're doing a lot of trash picking and dumpster diving in this one.
But this is my point, is that the game employs all the standard, I mean, it's by the people who made Uncharted, so it's all the sort of standard game design tropes that we've become familiar with, but all of it is done really well, and I think that people should stop making games that behave like this because they're not going to get any better than this. I mean, I'm being facetious, but you know what I mean.
It did kind of bother me a little bit that all the planks you found were all like the same width and length, you know?
They could have varied the planks.
Perfect length to get across, you know, from building to building.
This is more colorful than your standard zombie shooter, I felt. Like, when you go outdoors, it's pretty lush and vibrant. I remember at one point you're in a toy store. It's really colorful. You don't really agree with me on this point, I feel like, though.
I agree with you, but I mean, I prefer my zombie apocalypse to be turd brown.
Like, well, there was some of that, in fairness.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of that. The one scene that kind of stuck out for me was you're in kind of the subway, you're kind of underground, and there's the spores or whatever have been released. It's all green. You're in the water, flopping around in the water, trying to get through these subway trains, and because apparently Ellie can't swim, which is annoying.
Right.
And it's just green. You cannot see, and it's not like atmospheric. It's not like you can't see, and it's terrifying, and it's just annoying. Being in the water is annoying under any circumstances. If it had been turd brown, on the other hand,
you would have been having a blast.
Would have been fine.
Yeah. So it may not be turd brown, but I feel that this is a game we're going to be talking about for a while. I think it's hard for me as a critic to say this because it's such an imposition on people's time, but the first 4 or 5 hours don't give you enough of a picture of the whole game. It takes time. It's getting its hooks in you in those early hours, but you don't realize it. It takes time to blossom.
It really, I mean, the progression is really nice, though. Honestly, even though with the slow start, it really, develops really well.
I agree. It's patient.
Yeah.
And I can't complain about a patient game. At least not this one. So that's it for The Last of Us. Derek Sanskrit will be here tomorrow. He's going to play Tweet That Treat too. Hopefully do better than Drew. And he's going to be talking about Game and Wario. So join us then. Thanks for watching. So long for now.